We are here today to show you how to utilize the walking sling. We have two new walking slings. There is a medium with the yellow handle, and there is a large with the green handle. And both slings have a safe working load of 440 pounds. You can utilize the walking sling with a patient on the maxi-move with the 2-point hanger bar, or you can use it on a ceiling lift. So they have to have the clip where you can utilize the loop. This sling is the medium, and I would put it on a patient that can bear weight on at least one leg and be able to help at least 50% of their body. And they definitely need to be less than 440 pounds and be able to understand what you're asking them and be able to follow basic directions. Okay, so we'll start with this. It does have a lot of loops and straps, but very simple. After you use it once or twice, it should be fairly simple. So you slide the waist on, just it wraps around depending on the width of the patient, and then it has a strap that can be tightened, just like a seat belt. So we're going to slide it on the patient, whether they are standing or sitting already, preferably on the edge of bed. So you'll slide it around the patient's weight, you will clip it, and then get the leg straps underneath the patient. So if they need help, there's a variety of different ways to do it, but you can just take your hand, press into the mattress. Okay, go ahead and put those underneath my legs. Okay. So there is a strap on the front of the waist and a strap on the back of the waist. So in the end, both of these will be hooked to the clip. There are 3 different levels, so depending on the height of the patient, the height of the room, and how far up the lift goes, you will determine which loop you'll use. Normally, we'll always start with the loop at the farthest end. And then to apply the legs to the top loop, you're just gonna pull the leg loop up, the waist leg up through, and put it through the largest hole, and bring it straight up. Same thing on this side. Bring it through the biggest hole and straight up, and then bring the other 2 up. The caregiver will bring the maxi-move forward, make sure the legs are far enough apart so they don't hit the patient's legs. And you want to make sure there's enough room between the head and the spreader bar so it does not hit. Lock the wheels and come over to the patient's side. Always make sure you're not standing in front of them. You come to their side and tell them what's going to happen. We need you to ambulate. We need you to stand up on your own and fire up your muscles.
We're going to stand now.
And help them stand if they, just to give them some direction, and make sure their feet are flat on the floor. Do not bring their feet up, because then you will not be helping them. Now, I am tall enough where I could, if I wanted to, I could actually ambulate and hold on, but what we'd like to do here is utilize the walker if possible. So take a couple steps forward, and if they're not able to take steps forward, then it may be too much for them on this device. You want to bring them back to bed and utilize the Sarah Plus or a different lift. So at this time now, we're going to turn me 360 degrees. So you're going to, therapists are going to help. Let's take some first steps. And don't forget, there's a handle on the back of my waist, and you can hold on to that as you're guiding the patient through. if there is any pressure in between the legs, you can bring the spreader bar down slightly. So it's all about the patient's comfort. And now to demonstrate a fall. So if I do fall, it's safe. It's safe for you as you're walking along, and you won't have to go down with the patient. Okay, let's bring me back to a chair. And you can either bring the chair sideways to me, or if I'm well enough, I can do another turn to bring the patient all the way up to the chair. We'll pull the walker away, and then assist me in the turn. And that spreader bar does do a complete 360. And over to the chair. And I'm going to start firing up my muscles, knowing that, I'll obviously need some help. And make sure that you get them as far back into the chair as possible. And remove the loops. And pull the device away from the patient's head. And you can keep this on if it's just, for a 5 or 10 minutes, but if it's any longer than that, then you'll want to undo them and just utilize and there we have it, ambulation.
Okay, this is your smiley face. This is you're lined up. You want to lift the gray pieces up, and you push up and it lifts off. So now we set this down. It's pretty heavy. Just be careful. You're going to take this then, and you are lining it back up. The two eyes go here, and you put it down, making sure you're lined up with the smile and making sure it's locked.